CNN, the most trusted name in news, right? CNN, that's what I hear. CNN is the most trusted name in news. You know, they're neutral, not biased, right? Well, CNN has been caught kind of red-handed, pushing out, I hate to say it, I don't want to embolden Trump, but CNN put out a story that literally fake news. It's not real. And instead of doing what most news organizations do, which is retract the story, admit how you got it wrong, and just retract it, they seem to be closing their eyes and hoping everybody goes away. It's kind of stunning. So let me first, if you don't know about this, let me play you what they reported several weeks ago. Here we go.
For those of you who have not paid much attention to the Russia investigation, today would be a good day to start doing so.
Indeed.
Sources tell CNN that President Trump's longtime former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, has begun spilling the beans. One of the bombshells he reportedly wants the public to know is that then-candidate Donald Trump knew in advance and approved of that June 2016 Trump Tower meeting in which Russians promised dirt on Hillary Clinton. And these sources say Cohen is prepared to make that claim to special counsel Robert Mueller.
Now, if this is true, it means the president lied about it publicly. It means that Donald...
I just want to pause it for a second. Do you notice that the network is coming in, breaking news, sources tell CNN, blah, 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 blah. And then the anchor's like, if this is true. Well, you're reporting it. You're saying sources tell CNN, we're breaking this exclusively. Breaking news alert. And then the anchor says, well, if this is true, that would be like me reporting like, well, if Rick Snyder knew ahead of time that the Flint River was contaminated, if he knew that there was a chance to get, you know, if Rick Snyder knew this, as I lead up to reporting with evidence that Rick Snyder knew this, it's totally mind-boggling. It makes no sense. You either are reporting it as fact or you're speculating. I continue.
Trump Jr. lied about it under oath, and it means the current president of the United States had knowledge of and approved of accepting Russian help during the campaign. By CNN's count, President Trump and his team have denied he had contemporaneous knowledge of the Trump Tower meeting on more than 15 occasions. Now, to be clear, there are serious questions about Cohen's credibility and motivations here. Overnight, the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, told CNN that Cohen was a pathological liar who has lied, quote, all his life. But remember, Cohen spent years as Donald Trump's fixer and once said he would take a bullet for his boss. This is a major development with so many new angles to discuss. So let's go first to CNN's Jim Sciutto, part of the team that broke this exclusive story. Jim is live in Washington. Jim, lay it out for us.
Good morning, John. Sources tell myself and Carl Bernstein that President Trump's longtime lawyer, Michael Cohen, is willing to tell the special counsel Robert Mueller that then-candidate Trump knew in advance about his campaign's June 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Russians who were promising dirt on Hillary Clinton, and that the president approved of that meeting. Our sources tell us that Cohen claims that he was there, present at a meeting, when Mr. Trump was told about the Russians' offer, along with others present there, and that it was Donald Trump Jr. who told him. This account, of course, directly contradicting repeated denials from the president.
So there you have it. They're reporting Michael Cohen knew or was there when Trump was made aware that Donald Trump Jr. was going to meet with a Russian lawyer who was proposing to give dirt on Russia. So that's pretty specific. When you're saying sources are telling you, how journalism works, in most cases, you want at least 2 or 3 sources. For some stories, you want even more than that, because you can't go with one. You want double confirmation. And honestly, even 2 or 3, a lot of times sources have motivations for why they're telling you something. They're either telling you a complete lie or half the truth, or you know, they're telling you something, but they're not giving you the context. I mean, you need to talk to a lot of people to make a major declaration and report something as fact, especially when you're reporting something like that, which could actually lead to potentially a president, even if it's Trump's, impeachment. I mean, if it were true that Trump knew about this meeting, I think the whole Russia thing has been overblown. I think most of it's propaganda. I think the media is trying to create the next Cold War 2.0 for ratings. I think there was much more collusion. You want to talk about collusion with the Democratic Party and the media to take down Bernie, but I digress. But who could CNN sources be for this? You would assume it would be the people, whoever was there in the room, right? So I don't think Donald Trump Jr. is going to CNN and telling them, yes, Michael Cohen was there and heard me talk to my father about this beforehand. So Donald Trump Jr. is out. Doubt the president. I doubt the president was the source. And Michael Cohen's attorney couldn't have been the source, right? Because CNN put it right there in their story. Contacted by CNN, one of Cohen's attorneys, Lanny Davis, declined to comment. And that's a little journalistic trick. A lot of journalists do this. When their source won't go on the record, but we want to make it look like as journalists we did our due diligence, so the source is feeding us a story, whether it's true or not. They won't go on the record, so they declined to comment. We write they declined to comment. Lanny Davis declined to comment, even though he's my main source for this story. So CNN wrote, Lanny Davis declined to comment, which is a lie. Lanny Davis was your source for the story, as we find out from BuzzFeed News. Headline: Lanny Davis says he was a source for CNN's Trump Tower story. Davis, Michael Cohen's lawyer and spokesperson, said he also regrets lying about his involvement in the story. Attorney Lanny Davis says he was an anonymous source in a July CNN story that reported his client, Michael Cohen, had privately claimed that President Trump had advanced knowledge of the infamous Trump Tower meeting between his son and Russians, contradicting Davis's own words on CNN's air last week. In the story, Cohen was reported to have claimed he had personally witnessed Donald Trump Jr. informing then-candidate Trump about the June 2016 meeting. Such a claim from Cohen would directly contradict Trump's statements about his knowledge of the meeting, where Russians were set to offer dirt on Hillary Clinton. CNN's July 26 story has come under fresh scrutiny in recent days after Davis acknowledged he had served as an anonymous source for multiple news outlets who were seeking to confirm the CNN article. Davis has backed away from the story in recent days, telling the Washington Post that he is not certain if the claim is accurate and that he would not independently corroborate it. And the Washington Post and the New York Post have now retracted the story, based on Lanny Davis basically coming out and saying, I lied. Or in his words, I misspoke. That's the new version of lying in Washington. Last week, Davis told Anderson Cooper, I think the reporting of the story got mixed up in the course of a criminal investigation. We were not the source of the story. So, of course, in fairness to Anderson Cooper, right? In fairness to Anderson Cooper, he didn't challenge Lanny Davis on that because it wasn't Anderson Cooper's story. You know, for example, when I worked at the Young Turks, I didn't tell other Young Turks reporters who my sources were. So it's very possible that Anderson Cooper did not challenge Lanny Davis because it wasn't Anderson Cooper's original report. So he wouldn't know who his colleagues and their sources were for the story. But you have Lanny Davis lying on CNN and then coming out later and saying, oh no, this wasn't true. And he probably did this. So you ready for this? Probably did this after he realized, by the way, very bad lawyering by Lanny Davis. This is from Axios. Exclusive. Michael Cohen told Congress he doesn't know if Trump knew about the Russia meeting. Oh my God, you cannot make this up. Oh, my cousin Jacqueline's watching. Hey, Jacqueline. Michael Cohen testified in front of Congress he didn't know if Trump knew about the meeting. Michael Cohen told lawmakers last year in sworn testimony that he didn't know whether then-candidate Donald Trump had foreknowledge of the 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Russians. 3 sources with knowledge of Cohen's testimony, tells Axios. By the way, Axios, which I barely read, Mike Allen is one of the most wired political reporters in the United States. He used to be a Politico. He put out a nauseating newsletter every morning called Political Playbook, which all the last month, referring to CNN, said Cohen was willing to assert to special counsel Robert Mueller that Trump did know about the meeting in advance. So, obviously, Lanny Davis, in my view, I would assume, wasn't aware that Michael Cohen had testified to this behind closed doors, by the way. So, if you're going forward as a source to CNN, saying that your client is willing to tell Robert Mueller this, yet your client told Congress last year that he didn't have knowledge, you're basically admitting your client perjured himself further. And I think Lanny Davis knows Michael Cohen's in enough trouble. Probably going to jail for 5 years, which is, by the way, a slap on the wrist. That's what I'm talking about when I say the 2 different justice systems in the United States, one for the rich and powerful and one for everybody else. Michael Cohen has hit the felonies he has done, including money laundering. In a normal criminal justice system, he'd be facing 20 to 25. He'll probably serve 5 years, maybe even less.